Hey folks, Chef Nicholas J here. Today I've got just a few things I wanted to talk to you about. Just basically have an entrepreneurial mindset, a business mindset about how you can make money with things in ways that you may not even have thought of. A lot of people may not have thought of. And it's a very rare thing to think like this. This is things that intellectual people don't think of. So I had a little bit of time here that I'm going to take a walk through the woods, get to some places that I'm intimately familiar with, meaning nature, the woods, where I am right now. I am located in Central Florida, and we're in that time of year where fall's trying to push. We're trying to get cooler weather in here. The nature's trying to do its thing, but that heat is still pushing. It's really fighting us. So I'm telling you this because it's relevant to my story here. So basically, what I'm trying to do with my life is use an intellectual skill set in an entrepreneurial way, converting knowledge into money, converting information into money. Now, you can only really do this by doing your due diligence. There is no get rich quick scheme. See this right here? This is, not sure if you can see that, Brazilian pepper. That's what's in bloom right now here in the middle of October, here in the Central Florida area and south. Now that's a really good nectar source, and that's I won't spend too much time on this, but it's one of those catch-22s. The Brazilian pepper plant is extremely invasive here in the Central Florida area and anywhere in America. But on the other hand, it's a great fall nectar source and pollen source, more nectar than pollen for the honeybees here during this time of the year, because nothing else is really in bloom. So you don't have to feed them sugar. So it's a natural way for them to get what they need for carbohydrates. All right, back to the entrepreneurial mindset. So here I am, Central Florida. This is where I grew up, this kind of area. So it's very unique because this is all brackish water. But one of the interesting things about this area is that beekeeping can be done year-round. People from California, from New York, from Canada, they bring all of their honeybees around this area so that they can overwinter their colonies. Now, they will go out to California, pollinate the almonds, and that's basically where a lot of the money for beekeepers comes from. They do what's called a contract rate. Now, you have to have a lot of honeybees in order to load up an entire semi-load, or you can go into partnerships with other beekeepers who aren't big enough yet, and you're not big enough yet, and you guys can combine your hives to make a load to send out to California. So, as you can see, the problems with getting into that commercial aspect of beekeeping is you got to have equity, you got to have assets, you got to have money, teeth, skin in the game, whatever you want to call it. I don't have that. I've got maybe 12 hives right now. I've spent the last 3 years now intimately understanding the happenings of the hive, but I am very inexperienced on the beekeeping aspect of the practice of the trade. Now, I would like to learn more about it, but I got moves to make, chocolate to eat. I got things that I gotta try to pay the bills with, and I can't do that right away. So, the understanding of the seasons, understanding when things are going to come out, what environmental factors will play into the business. This is agriculture. Now, agribusiness is unique because you can never predict what's going to happen accurately, at least. Now, you can keep an eye on the weather, keep an eye on the predictions, get yourself a farmer's almanac, but knowing that, as we saw earlier, the Brazilian pepper plant, it is in bloom right now, and it's also hurricane season. So you're kind of throwing up your chips to see which chips will land heads up or heads down, because here's the deal. It's a coastal plant. Now, as a beekeeper, you can take the risk and put all your hives on the west coast or on the east coast of Florida. Now, why is that important? Hurricane season batters those plants and knocks off the blooms. So we get a hurricane on the east coast of Florida, knocks off all the blooms, and if you happen to put all your hives out there on the east coast, then you're stuck having to feed them with sugar or corn syrup or whatever it is that you decide to supplement their feed with, and you're losing money on the deal. You can split your hives, but then you also have to account for the time and labor put into the beekeepers in the field. So there's a lot of factors that go into all this, and it's days like today where I step away from my 7 to 3 job in other parts of agriculture and horticulture. I've stepped away from the kitchen because of the China virus, and I have decided to go into this field of business. And I've picked it up pretty quick, but I still have a lot to learn. So days like today are very rewarding, but it's like a flash in the pan. That's something that we have to consider when doing agribusiness. If you go over and check out my Instagram at Chef Nicholas J and at the Bee Pimp, you can find out some more of the little details. I'm going to throw some B-roll up here for you guys to see what I'm dealing with. But I went down south. I will not disclose the location, my buyer or my sellers. That is a relationship that I've fostered, and I do not want them to be mentioned for sake of losing their trust. I have spent a lot of time not getting paid for days like today. So we loaded up 14,000 pounds of honey that my partner put the money up front for. I did all the eyeballing. I did all the paperwork, all the research. That's one of the things I'm pretty good at. And I did all the phone calls finding prospects. It's literally like prospecting gold. You go out, you do your soil tests, you go out, get an analysis of the land to see if it's viable for you to go dig into the earth to look for gold. It's the same thing with the information world on the internet. I had to find places and people that don't advertise because they're so big. They really already have established business connections that aren't dependent on the internet. It's good old-fashioned phone calls. So I had to inject myself into that industry. So what I did was I agreed to an undisclosed amount per pound of honey that I sell, so that I get a cut and I get a commission. So basically, you can do this too. You can go into business and you can call up, different agricultural producers, say watermelons or sorghum syrup, or say dent corn for feeding cattle. You just have to look at the natural resources, the natural wealth of the area around you. That's going to be your best bet, looking for what your land produces. So if you're in the Northeast, maybe it's corn, or maybe in tomatoes, say in the New Jersey area. Or if you're in the Midwest, like Iowa, where all they grow is corn, then for the sake of this video, I won't get into the subsidies and the crooked nature of how the corn industry is subsidized by the US government, but for the sake of the conversation that I'm having with you here right now, you can get into selling these products. You find the buyer while the seller can stay focused on growing the crop. For honey, they're literally growing a crop. There's a few different ways that you can go about the beekeeping business as a beekeeper. One, you can sell bees, you can sell nukes, you can sell fully established hives, you can sell packages, you can sell the honey, you can sell just queens. You can get really good at a specific niche market in the beekeeping industry, one that interests you the most, and then people will seek you out for it. So I'm good at fostering purposeful relationships. I do not like idle relationships that, just sit around and shoot the breeze with. I want to get something done, and I want to find other people that want to do the same thing so that I can just get in, get out, establish my relationship, continue to do business with them while being credible, a credible person and a reputable person in the community. So I went down south today and made sure that the sale went through, made sure it got loaded up on the truck, took a look around the operation. I'm not going to disclose any locations or any third parties in this conversation. That's for my sake only. But yeah, it's a very big operation in the Florida area, South Florida, Central Florida, and North Florida. But yeah, you can do this too. You can look into understanding how a system works and find a place for you to insert yourself so that you can be a part of that process and get paid for doing it, rather than just learning about it on the latest documentary on Netflix. Make yourselves useful, folks. I hope that this video has helped you prosper. I hope that you have enjoyed my little spiel here. I just hope to be an encouragement to those around me and to those who will listen to me. If you stuck around this long, thanks again. Don't forget to check out my Instagram at Chef Nicholas J and at the Bee Pimp for all my culinary endeavors and all my beekeeping endeavors. I am a jack of all trades, master of none, but better than master of one. So again, I'll catch you on the next video, folks. Thanks for watching. Talk to you again.